What's up, everyone? Welcome to Unscripted Access, episode 157. I am your host, John Macaluso, here with Anthony Taw.
Hello.
So today, it's just going to be the two of us, and it is the day after Christmas, so not much news has happened. But don't worry, we still have plenty of stuff to talk to you guys about. Firstly, Anthony, how are you doing today, man? How was your Christmas?
It was all right. It was all right. It was really, really, really cold outside, though.
Oh man,
um,
it was freezing this past week with a good amount of snow too.
oh man, can you ask for anything better? So what happened in our city is it snowed the day before Christmas, which is great for most people, as long as you didn't have to work in it. Um,
Hmm.
so Christmas Day was partly cloudy, but you had a white Christmas. I mean, what could you want? And then today was probably the ultimate ski day because it snowed 2 days ago, and today the roads are good enough that you could drive to a ski resort, and it's sunny out. So you can get a fresh sunburn on your face if you didn't protect it.
Yeah, it's weird because it's beautiful. It was beautiful today, like super
Oh,
blue
yeah.
skies. And then when it snows in Reno and it's clear the next day, the entire city just looks really really beautiful.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah. It looks really good. Air's fresh and clean. Doesn't have all that smog from all the people burning wood in their fireplaces.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Unlike I'll say like July when the whole city's baking and is on fire and there's fire smoke everywhere because California fires blow all their smoke in and we all suffocate.
Yeah, in fire season here in lovely northern Nevada, it is awful.
Man, you remember that one year when it got so bad the ash was was falling from the sky?
Oh yeah.
That
Yeah.
was man. That I had never seen that before. Normally, it just gets really smoky, but ash falling out of the sky, piling up on cars. Dear goodness, that was dang. That was bad.
Yeah, that's Reno for you.
Yeah,
But hey,
it's really polarizing out here.
you never really know what you're gonna get in Reno. You don't know
Yeah,
if it's gonna be like today, for example, or after it snowed on Christmas Eve. It was super sunshine and warm and weird. I don't know if you noticed that, but in the morning it was coming down really, really, really hard. And then when I drove to my parents for Christmas Eve dinner, it was like sunshine. So I was driving down the freeway and thinking, thank God it's not coming down really hard because I can see where I'm going.
yeah. Yesterday, well, yeah. Christmas Day is really interesting. It snowed and then it stopped. All of a sudden, it was flew by.
Yeah, we've had some very Reno-esque weather as far as not knowing what you're gonna get.
Oh yeah, like back in back in July, you remember when the flooding when the flash flooding thingy kind of happened?
Oh yeah, it was
Yeah,
like
like so, like
monsoon.
like it's summer, it's baking hot in the morning. It's like 80 degrees by 7 or 8 a.m. It's burning, and right at about noon, you would see these giant clouds just in the distance. You're like, oh, something's gonna happen, and then the temperature would just drop about 20 or 30 degrees, and then the water would just pile up, and you're driving through a river, and you're like, oh, please don't kill my car.
Oh yeah, yeah, and I remember I had my windshield wipers on as fast as they can go, and it was still visibility was still awful. That was fun.
Oh yeah, I mean, man, the weather this year is crazy, and they said it'll be a good winter, and hooray, it's a good winter. Unfortunately, for the rest of you on the East Coast, I keep hearing these crazy stories about how you guys are enjoying spring over there about like 4 months early. So I don't know what's going on over there, but it sure sounds a little lovely because I'm a little tired of the cold right now.
Yeah, and I think the worst part is um, we all love Earth, and we all hate the oh my God, now I can't think of what I was just about to say. We all hate the lack of water in northern Nevada and California. Why can't I think of the word, Anthony? What is it?
Drought.
Drought. Thank you. Yeah,
Drought.
so
Yes.
we can't. We all hate the drought. So unfortunately, all of this snow, which I hate, by the way, I'm not a fan of snow. All of this snow is good for us in the long run,
More
and it's
non-gaming related trivia. Apparently, the water level at Lake Tahoe went up 2 inches, which is fantastic.
oh yeah, like this. What this? It was not even this past snowstorm. It was the light storms before it brought like 40 billion gallons to Lake Tahoe or something like that. Or it might have
Wow.
even been that storm on Christmas Eve. I don't believe it was, but I mean that's really something. It's crazy. Nature is crazy.
Oh yeah,
As
for sure. Yeah.
speaking of
Yeah.
nature, kind of. Anthony has recently picked up a full time job. He has become a mayor in a city far, far, far away in a land. What is this city
It's
called?
in a time, far, far future, in a land far, far, far away. Yeah.
And Anthony has picked up the addiction of city skylines.
Yes, Steam sales happened, and I just had this city building itch. Like I gotta build a city. I just need to. And well, as much as I love SimCity 3000, that thing is, I mean, it's still a fantastic game, and in some ways, it's still modern. But that game came out in 1999, and that's what was it, like 16 years ago? Yeah, 16 years. That game came out 16 years ago,
Yeah.
and I'm like, well, city games have to evolve further, right? And obviously there has to be better options than the new SimCity, which sucks. Because let's be honest here, Maxis is officially run into the ground, and anything with Sim in it, The Sims, SimCity, those have gone junk now. Thank you, EA. But so next option is City Skylines. I'm like, oh man, I gotta build a city, and the city games must have gotten better by now, right? It's been freaking 17 years, and so I bought it and didn't sleep that night. Yeah, didn't sleep that night. I got really carried away. Building the entire neighborhoods needed to make my city exist. So what happened? Okay, so my first city lasted only like 3 minutes because I built it a little bit too big. I stretched it out too far. And because of that, I had dumped way too much money into maintaining roads, and already the city was going to lose colossal amounts of money, as is with all the roads, and not even like 10 houses existed. So I scrapped that in 3 minutes. My first real city right now is at 44,000 people for a population, with a $5.5 grand surplus and $1 million in the piggy bank. And I'm still building it. Heck, I'm looking at the game right now.
The game is awesome. On that note, the game is really, really good. For those who are looking for a good city builder, that's definitely the one to get, especially over SimCity. But also on that note, Anthony's city has been much, much, much more successful than mine. In fact, I think I ended up deleting my city because it was so bankrupt and awful.
Oh yeah, there was like with my first city, there were some things I had to do in order for it to survive. Like I had to take out a loan, and I really, really hate it in city games when you have to take out a loan to build something that could potentially in the long term make you more money. Because the problem with a loan is, well, you're gonna like do that terrible thing that most governments should not do, which is borrow money. Because, well, what if you can't pay off the money you borrowed? Well, you're gonna have to keep on borrowing, and well, then now you just got yourself in a massive hole, and congratulations, you're now bankrupt. So I had to take out one loan, but it was like, this is for the good of the city, right? And I managed to turn enough of a profit in order to keep running the city and keep paying off the loan until the loan was completely paid off, and that was a fantastic achievement. I'm really proud of that.
You should be proud of that, especially
Yeah.
the fact that it's your first city.
The frickin' it was at the beginning of the game, and I'm just like, ugh, I really do not want to do this, but I forgot what I needed to build. But it was something I needed that loan to build something highly critical. It could be a power plant. I forgot what it was, but it was something really vital, or else it was gonna really screw things in the long run. So
Yeah.
bank loan it is. Ugh.
You know what ended up getting me was the fact that I ended up making my city very, very spread out. And what ended up happening was I would have a power plant. I'd have the power plants placed where they need to be. There actually wasn't really a problem of energy. It was a problem of law enforcement, of fire, and um, cemeteries. I can't remember the hearses. Um, a lot of people were dying, and I kept getting all of those little tweets saying that, "Oh, it really smells in here. I think there's a body." You know what I mean?
Okay.
And
Yeah.
and my problem was I ended up having things so spread out that a lot of these places I had all over the place, they weren't able to cover the entire city. Because
Oh right.
so I
Gotcha.
had a river running through the middle of the city, and on one side I had the huge part, the industrial, the smaller residential, the smaller industrial, and then the smaller commercial on the one side, and on the other side I had all of the higher stuff. Like the higher residential, and I don't think they have higher industrial, but residential and commercial, and
Right.
that was a bad idea. I should have keep them. I should have kept them a little bit closer, tighter knit for the area, for the part that I was at least. I ended up spending a boatload of money to get fire station here, cemetery here, that kind of stuff. And that's what ended up dooming my city. I haven't tried again, but I think if I do try again, I'll do a lot better after learning from the mistakes of my first city. I apologize for all the citizens who lived by bodies for as long as they did.
Ouch. Yeah. Yeah. That's like one of the. That was one of the. See, that was the thing that screwed me over in SimCity 3000 when I was still new to the game and I had to resort to stupid things like cheat codes to build a sustainable city, which probably tells you how bad of a planner I am. But a densely packed city is definitely going to do a lot better than a city that is extremely sparse.
Hmm.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
yeah, it kind of makes sense because everything gets stretched a little thin. That's why in SimCity 3000, I was all about dense residential because then I wouldn't have to worry so much about land area because everyone's living in the same 5 buildings.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, experience is my first city. So if you don't have any of the cheats or mods on like unlimited money and all things unlocked, you can't like build a high rise right away. You literally build your first town, and so you start off with simple houses, simple shops, and factories that create LA grade smog. And, that fun stuff. And how do I put this? So I really hate putting my industrial anywhere remotely close to my commercial and residential area. So naturally there's like this like 2 mile road that separates the residential from the industrial, which is probably one of the reasons how I ended up having to take out that bank loan in the first place was because everything is so spread out. But and yeah, one of the issues my city has and still kind of does is a random building would burn down because the fire station's on the other side of the planet, and that fire truck has to fight through the same traffic as everyone else. Oh man, like there's so much for me to talk about. Oh yeah, a school shortage. I keep running into problems with school shortages.
I'm surprised, Anthony, that you have dumb civilians.
Well, okay, so this is one of the problems I face in City Skylines is in The Sims you had a little news ticker running on the bottom all the time.
Yeah.
So you always knew when there was something kind of wrong. Like it was some news ticker like students not the sharpest knives in the drawer. More schools needed. And that was kind of a good thing because it told you what you needed to do. And it was really easy because you had a team of advisors and you prompt them and they could tell you, yo, we're building so much electricity that we need to, maybe sell some to our neighbors for some money, stuff like that. So you always knew what was wrong with your city and what you needed to do to make it better. In Skylines, there's never really that urgency. Like, there was never really that little bird Twitter thingy. I mean, okay, so the game has a bird Twitter thingy, so you know when something's really effed up, but it never really told me, hey, I can't get my kid enrolled in school. Would be nice if there would be more schools. Then I would be like, oh crap, I gotta build more schools because there's like 1,000 potential students trying to fit into 250 seats.
Yeah.
So, that's not gonna work. But I never knew that. The only time I ever knew, I was like, gee, I haven't built a school in a while. Let me check the education. Oh. You have to check yourself. Apparently, Twitter users don't like talking about education in my city. Which, they certainly talk about the smell of a dead body in the apartment next door, but they don't tell me about, not being able to get into their local high school.
I mean, in their defense, Anthony, I think a rotting corpse would be just a little bit more important.
I know, but the thing is that the rotting corpse is not a problem because I have enough cemeteries and crematoriums, I think they call it. Like, that's not really a problem. In fact, they spend more time talking about their vacation than telling me that they can't get their child into school.
Yeah, they do talk about vacations a lot, don't they?
It's like, we're extending our vacation, and I'm just like, really? There's only like 200 tourists in my entire city. I mean, tourism is... Okay, well, it depends how you look at tourism. Maybe the lack of traffic... Well, maybe lack of tourism traffic is good. But, yeah, that Twitter feed, I think, needs to be a little more up-to-date about stuff because it doesn't tell me... I mean, like, I for sure can tell when there's a water shortage because these little icons pop up on buildings across the city when there's something wrong, like not enough services. I like that. That's a pretty vague one, but no electricity, no water, garbage is piling up, sewage is piling up. So that stuff it shows you. But again, it doesn't tell you about schools. So I keep missing the schools all the freaking time.
City Skylines really tests your ability to multitask. I remember in Sim City, I used to just build, and then whatever I felt needed to be there, I would put there. But City Skylines, it's like you have to read all of these financial reports. You have to read what the people of your city want and stuff like that. I actually like that a lot.
See, for me, I never looked at my financials very much because it was just kind of like. With the exception of the education, it's like, I'm turning a profit. I don't need to change anything. And I don't need to look at my financials.
That's the difference between our cities, though, was that you were making enough to where you didn't need to worry about it. I was trying to get to the root of the problem and figure out why I wasn't making money.
Yeah, I guess my experience from SimCities and knowing how to turn a city a profit actually kind of worked out in my favor. Even then, though, there were like a couple things I noticed that were creating colossal losses on my city. So one of the things I never turned on in my city, and to this day still don't, because I would have lost colossal amounts of money without having to raise taxes, is water meters and electric meters. Now, in theory, these tools are great because that means you don't have to build as many power plants and you don't have to suck as many rivers dry, which I don't know if rivers can actually go dry in this game.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
Part of me kind of feels like they do because I can't help but feel like that river just became a little bit more like a canyon the more water pumps I build at the top, which kind of worries me. So in this game with the river, what you do is obviously you want to build your water pumps at the top of the river. And in this game, the water treatment plant doesn't just clean the water for it to be reused. No, what happens is that all wastewater has to get dumped. So before you have a water treatment plant, that means that all the nasty stuff gets dumped downstream. And you obviously don't want to put it up the stream because otherwise that nasty sewage gets pumped back into the water system and people die. Which, if you want to experiment how that's gonna kill off your city, there's a fun little experiment right there. Have them drink their own sewage. Yeah, that river looks a little bit more like a canyon now, and I'm just getting a little worried. But at the same time, it's not like that river has a nice park next to it. So, oh well. Maybe I can build a dam on it and hope that it doesn't flood the city. That's the other thing too. When you build a hydro plant, you gotta be careful that when you build it, it doesn't flood everything behind it.
Yeah.
Of course, I think this was also a bug, but I built a dam and it made zero electricity, even though it plugged up all the water behind it. So I don't know what the hell was wrong with it.
I didn't even know you can make a dam.
You could. It's
That
under,
is cool.
It's under electricity.
That's super cool.
Yeah, if you do have a good hydro plant, though, you could pretty much. If you have like a really powerful hydro plant, you don't need any other power plant, because when you make like 1,400 megawatts of electricity, holy crap, that's like freaking 10 power plants right there you just got rid of.
Wow, how cool.
Yeah.
I definitely need to pick this game up. I've been thinking about it lately, which is it's funny. I had no idea I had a fellow city builder lover on staff.
Oh man, I love SimCity 3000. I freaking love it. It's like it's a once in a while kind of thing. I don't play it all the time, but like when you have games like Civilization 5 and like Age of Empires, that's another one that eats 3 hours of my day away, no problem.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And now City Skylines, it's like you're building up your city or your empire or whatever. You're building towards something. You're building an economy, and you're going to make it great or F up, and everyone hates you.
Yeah.
So like other things about my city, I forgot to rename it. It's called Rockfield, which is a hell of a generic name. It only has 4 districts because I didn't use the district feature because there wasn't really a need for me to. I don't put water meters or electric meters in my city because apparently for me it is better to turn a profit in the city and build more power plants than to have a 20 grand loss a week.
Yeah.
Because, man, is it really expensive? I mean, I could raise taxes, but no. Like my city's
everyone
not really,
likes higher taxes.
Yeah, my city is not growing that fast, and demand isn't that high, so I really don't think raising the tax rate is going to do anything. If anything, it'll make it worse. Let's see, other things. So I managed to amass a $1 million piggy bank. And the reason why I have a $1 million piggy bank is there came a point when I wasn't really finding much wrong with my city. It was growing okay. Everything was okay. Everything was fine. Like, nothing was great. Nothing was really wrong. It was just fine. Except for this obnoxious traffic clog on the highways that's causing traffic to back up for 2 miles. So, because I get really annoyed by this, I spent the next 20 minutes of real life time trying to figure out a solution for this traffic jam. Because what happened was that I treated the highway like a normal city street, so I built intersections across it. Now this is okay when it's a little town, because there's not much traffic, it's not going to kill you. But when your city gets bigger, this traffic light is going to cause a colossal traffic jam that you can only see in China or LA.
Yeah.
So traffic's backed up through the junction. Traffic's clogged up through the junction, and I'm just like, where are these cars all going from? They're all turning left. Okay, but the problem is it's an intersection and there are buildings around. Okay, let's demolish some buildings, raise the highway, and build some off ramps, and that's still clogged up traffic. So I built like this weird array of highway off ramps and on ramps, killed an intersection, widened the roads, and it was a hell of an inefficient solution. But because this isn't real life and I don't have to worry about $5 million construction projects and shutting down a freeway for 10 months, I did it, and it solved some of the traffic. And because it took me 20 real life minutes, well, granted, that meant that I wasn't spending money doing anything else except being obsessed with fixing my roads. So, that's how I got this big budget surplus, and I don't know what to do with it right now. And Yeah, apparently that to me that's the biggest appeal. It's like fixing traffic jams with these really elaborate on ramps and off ramps. Because let's be honest
I
here, I know people don't like traffic jams, but to me it's just like I don't know why. I just want to build this thing. Like so I'd like have this stupid arrangement of like raised roads, lowered roads, and sometimes when there's an intersection I would raise one side of the freeway while the other side of the freeway still has a traffic light to deal with. It's like, oh my goodness, that's a complete mess. But traffic isn't that bad and people are getting to work on time apparently, so no problem.
yeah, and I guess if you're gonna have a problem, traffic is not a bad problem compared to the other things that could happen in cities.
Yeah, well, for me, there wasn't really that much of a deal. I mean, like, what are the biggest problems in my city right now? Not much. Just there's just issues of, yeah, your garbage pickup and dead person pickup might be delayed because all my landfills are obviously shoved into the industrial areas of my city. So when they have to drive all the way to the north end of the city, that could be like a good 5 or 6 miles or whatever the distance is. 3 city squares. I'll just put it that way, square. So those squares you purchase right later, yeah, sometimes they have to drive as far as 3 squares to pick up your garbage.
That's a pretty good distance.
That is a very big distance, but you know, the garbage is kind of picked up on time. Dead people are kind of picked up on time, just as long as I don't run out of landfills.
Yeah, landfills was another thing that was a pain in the butt for me.
Yeah,
it always seemed like I never had enough room garbage.
yeah, that kind of tells you an issue in real life. apparently, if your citizens are educated, they don't spew as much garbage out. So, yeah, I guess schools do serve a purpose.
That's actually yeah. Yeah, in my city, I definitely gypped education, but I did it on purpose.
Well, actually, you know what? That probably helped your industry. Okay, so this is another issue I have with my city. So currently, I'm building some industry, and I decided, you know what? One of the things that this game does is that you can zone off a district and say, I want this area of my city to focus on oil, or I want it to focus on forests or farms or mining ore. So, so I have this area way off to the west, kind of a little far away from everyone else because there's an oil deposit. So I built a massive road network through a bajillion industrial zones. And I'm saying this will be the Holly oil field. All the oil. I don't have to import this stuff anymore. I'm going to export this stuff and build oil in my city. Well, there were 2 problems. First off, the oil is running out really fast, which probably tells you the oil is kind of useless because it's not that deep of a pool. And 2, it kept telling me we don't have enough workers, and I'm like, what do you mean don't have enough workers? I just built fresh houses over there. And next to this oil field, I also built up a forestry district. Now, the forestry district is considered renewable, which means I can keep the stuff forever. It won't make as much money as oil, but you know the trees will grow back, and it's a good steady income. Nobody's building anything else, so I thought, okay, I'm doing something wrong because when something isn't building, clearly there's an issue. I mean, like there's trees here and there's a need for industry, but why isn't anybody building like sawmills or anything? So I went on the internet and found out that so 2 things. One, there has to be a demand for it, which we're importing wood. We're supposed to build sawmills out there. And then 2, if your city is too educated, they don't want to work at a sawmill. They want to work at an office. So my city is too smart to do wood. Which I don't...
That's crazy. Yeah, I didn't know that education made such a big impact.
It is actually possible for people to be overqualified in this game because I would look at a random factory and says there's one overeducated worker in here, and I'm like, isn't that supposed to be a good thing? Why is overeducation a bad thing? Like what's wrong with so as to why my forestry business isn't going up, it's either because like there's 3 things. It's something I haven't figured out, is because no one wants trees even though we're importing wood, or the city is too smart that they don't want to do trees, they want to do offices. Because when your people are very highly educated, your office industry gets a perk, gets boosted up pretty darn well.
Okay.
There's actually numerous office buildings in my city.
So
I have
in
a
that
pretty darn
case,
sophisticated tall buildings area.
okay, yeah, that's actually exactly what I was about to ask. So in that case, you build tons of higher commercial areas.
Yeah. So, how do I put this? So the way my city is laid out is pretty interesting. So it started out right by the riverbank. So the suburbs, small commercial, and some industry because I needed industry because the game told me I had to, or else people are unemployed and that would be bad. It's on the east side of the river, and when I finally raised up enough money, I finally built the highway bridges and road bridges across to the west side. And on the west side, I like, you know what? I want this side of my city to be high rises, and the first thing I built there was high density residential areas, which apparently are popular with young adults because apartments. Apparently, if you're middle aged, you rather would have a house, but if you're a young adult, you would rather live in an apartment in the big city, which almost sounds true.
Yeah.
So I built the high rise there, and then it became, and I obviously have to design a highway system because obviously the traffic's gonna suck. So I had to, and this is the thing about city planning, you have to think 5 or 7 steps ahead. Like, for example, when my town started, it started off life right next to a junction. So I used that junction like a city street. I didn't think of it as, hey, this is a highway that you can, build more highway and then make a bridge across over there. But I didn't have highways unlocked yet. So to me, that highway junction actually dumped cars off into a suburb. It's I look at that interchange now and I'm like, dear goodness, I can't believe I turned, it's like if you look at the I'm trying to think of a good real life city example, but two okay, so you got 2 freeways on top of each other and it's a junction. Here in Reno we call it the spaghetti bowl because it basically looks like a clover leaf. It looks like there's roads flying everywhere, so instead of a clover leaf, it looks more like a spaghetti bowl from top. I guess that's where it's got its name. And imagine one side, like the west side of it, it doesn't actually lead to more freeway, just dumps straight into a suburb. It is hell of an ugly solution.
Yeah.
Because I didn't understand highway system. But when I built the east side, I dumped a lot of money building highways that people don't drive on. Because I knew that, well, this is going to be useful in the future. So I built all my roads over there. I built all the highway stuff over there with no cars on it. So it was kind of a bit of a waste of money. But hey, I was making lots of money. So having a bunch of freeway that no one's using yet isn't really a big deal. Aren't I such a smarty pants city designer?
Gonna say, if anyone in Reno planning is listening to this, Anthony's a pro.
Actually, no, I'm not a pro. Let me just say it took a lot of trial and error. So I will build the wrong roads and then decide to demolish it because it didn't work. Now, in a game, that takes like 2 seconds. In real life, that would take a lot of money and months. So, yeah. Oh, and I also saw that people weren't driving on my freeways, and I wondered why. And then I realized that I effed up the one-way system. So the way one-way systems is that point A to point B is the flow of traffic. So what happened was that east-west colliding with northeast, and it just caused no traffic because I effed up the one-ways. So that needed a fix. Thankfully, there were icons that helped me with that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's me and my city. Some things I noticed about this game that don't really quite seem as good as SimCity, believe it or not. Pollution, it seems very concentrated in one area. It doesn't spread. In SimCity, it spreads, which makes sense because, winds, it's kind of like a little bit of a mushroom effect where it just kind of plumes over the city. That's how pollution kind of works. But in this game, the pollution industrial strictly stays in industrial, which is no problem, which means I could build a house about 5 blocks away and no one would complain.
Yeah.
So that's a little that's not really realistic. I want a case of, citizens choking on stuff and bitching at the mayor and saying, "Yo, why is that factory about 5 blocks away from my house? I'm dying here." But that doesn't happen. Pollution's not really a big deal here.
Yeah, it's funny.
It's too
I
easy.
noticed that too. Yeah, I noticed that too.
There's like no consequences for pollution as long as you keep it a little bit away. Like, like I literally do have this. On one side of the freeway is massive megacorp industry. On the other side of the freeway is, 5,000 people in a neighborhood. And everyone's happy. Aside from the garbage not getting picked up on time.
It's small, the small things.
Yeah. Noise.
Nothing huge.
Yeah. Other things. Noise. Yeah, noise is actually something you kind of have to think about a little bit, because you can't just exactly shove a house next to a freeway, because you think about it. Would you really want to live right next to a busy freeway?
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. No one wants to live by a noisy freeway, even with sound barriers. So, I've dumped some houses by the freeway and put up sound barriers, and some houses had to get demolished for on-ramps and city renovations and all that stuff. Spectacularly low crime rate in my city. I am amazed that I rarely have to build a police station because the crime rate is so low.
That's good. That's really good.
Highly educated city, less crime. Who knew? But then again, of course, apparently my city needs more idiots to work the factory. So, okay, whatever.
Time to start tearing down those schools there, Anthony.
Yeah, tear down the elementary school, so that way you're not qualified for high school. Like that will be the bottleneck. Elementary school's the bottleneck. Some will make it into school and get to live the privileged school life and get to work in a nice, fancy, comfortable office that's air conditioned on a hot July day, and the rest of you will have to suffer out in the oil pumps out on the west end of the city, connected only by a single road far, far away from your families. Can't believe I'm running.
Oh man, that's awesome.
This is ridiculous. I'm running out of oil already. and like the structures have only been there for like a month, and I'm just like, dear goodness. Meanwhile, up north, the farms are doing okay though.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, but let's see. I'm starting to run out of things to say. Healthcare is never a problem. People rarely get sick in my city. I have only 2 hospitals and 2 health clinics, and it's like 800 people can go into a hospital or health clinic. Only 141 are sick. So people are spectacularly healthy in the city too. That being
That's good.
said,
Yeah, no, the catch.
The catch right now I'm a little worried about is the death rate is slightly higher than the birth rate. So I'm actually very slowly losing people because no one's moving in for some reason. I need to build more houses. But
Anthony is sitting here concocting how he's going to add to his city.
Well, yeah, so I guess this is why my city turned out as good as it did with no cheats. Is you have to think ahead. When you don't think ahead, problems are going to happen. For example, I didn't think ahead, especially the highways. The highways are, for me, the highways were the biggest things that I didn't think of ahead because I treated my highways like city streets, so they were intersections. Because I didn't think of that, there was a colossal traffic jam, and then I took freaking 20 minutes of my day solving a traffic jam. Gee, don't people wish that happened in LA? Obviously, in real life, it's much more time consuming and expensive because you have to shut down the road, whereas for me it's I can pause the game and bam, you have a new traffic system built in 0.0 seconds.
Yeah, all of a sudden it just appears for people out of thin air.
Yeah. Man. No public transit. Yeah, that's probably one thing I need to think about is public transit. I have zero public transit. If you want to get to work, you will own a car. Or you will not get to work or school. You better have a car. And if you don't have a car, well, sucks to be you. Now get one. I don't know how to like turn that into a really evil advertisement, but there are no buses, no trains. In fact, the only thing remotely related to a train in my city is the cargo train depot away on the east side. Because hey, we need to export stuff because we're importing way more than we're exporting. So, but there's no public transit, and my history with public transit is I hate dealing with it because I lose track of where all my bus stops are. I don't remember where I place my bus stops. I don't remember where I place my stations. It's just a headache trying to figure that out. And then you have to manage the routes in this game too. It's like, do I really want to manage the public transit routes? You know what? I'll just make it easier on myself and tell everybody to own a car or suck it.
I mean, that's fair. That's totally fair.
Yeah, and traffic's not that bad once I figure out some highly effed up junction. Like, you should see one of these junction solutions. It's really, really bad.
I do want to see your city. You should like screenshot it one of these days and send it to me or something.
I should. You'll also be amazed that it is amazingly square. So that's one of the other issues. I don't know if this is an issue or a very good thing, but every time I build a city, I get obsessed with building blocks. So I'm obsessed with blocks. I don't build like curved roads or any of this fancy, beautiful. We're gonna build a curved road through the forest, and it'll be a scenic road on your way to your beautiful home, sir. No, it's a square. Okay, a block is literally a block in this. A block is a block in this city, and you're gonna deal with it that way. Oh, I mean, yeah, sure, the road's not gonna be that straight when it's along the river, but sorry, a block's a block, sir. And if you need, and apparently you're happier when there's a park nearby instead of your beautiful road being curved in an artful manner. So my city is very square. It doesn't have any weird shape. That's hilarious. That probably says a lot about how organized I am. Industry can only exist in very specific areas. You will not. I mean, if anything, it's very specific. This is the office area. This is the commercial area. In some ways, it's more like I built districts and assigned zoning districts, even though I didn't officially label them. So this will be like, yeah. I mean, drawing districts in this game is a little bit of a pain sometimes because you paint it. You paint it, which is a little bit of a problem sometimes because trying to draw with a mouse kind of sucks.
Yeah, it definitely does.
Yeah, but so I would have like, here's a light commercial district, and there's a suburb district to the north, and in the east there's another commercial district. So it's just everything's orderly and square. Office block, residential block, landfill block.
I actually never separated my city into districts. I never needed to.
Yeah, I don't either. It's just like all industry will exist in these three areas and nowhere else until I decide on a new one. The only place that's kind of messed up is the north end of my city, which is kind of like a mix of farm and suburbs. Now, the farm makes lots of noise because cows, so I had to put some commercial in between so it doesn't, it looks like I'm actually filling up the space. Yes, cows make lots of noise pollution.
They should have smell pollution in further games.
In what? Oh.
They should have, smelling pollution.
Oh, that, yes. Dear goodness, freaking, there, like, you've been on the road down to Los Angeles. You know that one farm, that cow farm?
Oh yeah, it smells like manure for miles.
Oh my goodness,
miles and miles and miles.
Man, everyone who's been on that freeway knows what I'm talking about. You just drive along, and all of a sudden, the smell just smacks you in the face. Oh man.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Okay, I think that's everything about my city. I don't know how
Well,
long I've talked about it. I don't know how long
why
I've
don't
talked
we
about it, but yeah.
why don't we tell the fine folks why we're talking about it in the first place? The
Well,
whole reason that Anthony. Oh, go ahead.
no, you go ahead.
Okay, the whole reason Anthony is talking about it is because he got it on the Steam sales,
No, Steam sales are
which
going on.
they
Typical
hurt.
stuff. Not as
They hurt
heavily
a lot.
advertised. Yeah, not. I don't know if people are stoked about it during the summer because in the summer people get really excited about the summer. But I just needed to buy some games. I was kind of a little bored, but I didn't want to play Yakuza or Xenoblade because, well, that's a bit expensive. But yeah, Steam sales happened, and I bought 3 games. So City Skylines is the obvious one. I think that was 50% off. I bought Undertale.
Oh
Because
yeah, for that $7.99.
yeah, $7.99. Not a big. Yeah, $7.99 I think is pretty darn good considering everyone on the planet loves it. And Flight Simulator 10 or Flight Simulator X, however you read it, which is at this point I think it's going to be a 10-year-old flight sim. Why I bought it, I have no idea, but I guess I bought it because I already have a hard copy, but that hard copy has some stupid activation thing where you have to connect to the internet and verify you have a legit copy. And apparently with the Steam version, they optimized the code so it actually can run on today's computers, whereas the Vista version is, okay, it's made during the days of Windows Vista. It's going to suck. And it did, and no one wanted it. But now it's the default flight sim because of all the game genres that kind of died over the years, Flight Sim never really came back, and it's kind of like a bummer because like Microsoft Flight Simulator was like the thing, and you know it wasn't like huge, but it had a group of like really dedicated enthusiasts. But after Flight Simulator 10, it just died off because Flight Simulator 10 was just it kind of flopped. Flight Sim was kind of like dying off, and I was surprised that no one really made another one because, you know, with Steam, you see so much experimentation. But here you go, Flight Simulator 10, like freaking soon to be 10-year-old Flight Sim, and I just got it so I don't have to use the Vista version.
How much was it, Anthony?
It was like $5.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the awesome thing about Steam sales. It's like if you rebuy a game you already have on a different console, or
Yeah.
you know, even if you have it on PC already, it's not going to kill you. What does kill you is the accumulation of several different games.
Oh yeah, I'm very careful that I buy what I will play. Like Flight Simulator 10, oh yeah, I played that for like an hour and then realized, yeah, I'm kind of bored already. Undertale, yeah, I'll totally play that, and it's only $8. City Skylines, I think I got my money's worth already. Yeah, and I think the total for me was maybe about $30. $30, and I got 3 games
awesome.
for $30 and less than the price of Yakuza 5.
Yeah. So far I have only gotten I got the Burnout Paradise Ultimate Collection for $5.
Burnout Paradise.
I saw it and I'm like, exactly. Yeah, I saw it and I'm like, oh god, I'm gonna get this right now.
Burnout Paradise. Heck yeah.
That game is so awesome. And I got it, and I'm thinking about getting a few other games. Wolfenstein is on sale, and I've heard good things about it, so I was thinking about getting that. And then, of course, there are several Bethesda games. I don't think I'm going to get one since I have barely even played their last one, which is Fallout 4, by the way. But I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to rummage through. The sale lasts until, I think, January 4th or January 3rd or something. So,
yeah,
I mean, there's plenty of time.
A while longer, yeah.
Yeah.
I imagine I would like to think that stores run sales after New Year's because that is when retail just plunges off the cliff.
Oh, yeah.
Because let's be honest here, everyone had just dumped all of their gift money buying gifts in November and December. Like, do people really need to buy anything in January? They already spent all their money away like the 2 months prior.
Yeah.
So I imagine retail plunges off the cliff during that time.
It really does. Like the difference. If you look at my hours, the difference is it's like hilarious. I go from like 40 hours to like 12.
More free time,
Yeah,
but
no,
less money.
exactly. So I'm not. Yeah, less. Well, I don't have anything to spend it on either. Once the holidays end.
Yeah, like, and I'm hoping they have some like really good after New Year sales because once retail punches off the cliff, they need to make money somehow.
Yeah, exactly.
Granted, this is in the form of anything that remotely resembles a holiday will be a sale because that's how stuff works here in America. Martin
Yeah.
Luther King Day sale, President's Day sale. Man,
What is? There's another Labor Day. Labor Day has a lot of sales.
Labor Day is actually an important weekend though. But like President's Day, really?
Um,
Oh, as far as sales go, I don't know.
yeah, I don't know either.
Yeah, it just I think this is like one of the few countries like that actually has like a sale for even the slightest holiday in on the calendar. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, kind of tangent, but it's like you go to there are some clothes stores that have things on sale 100% of the time, so it's normal priced. So
That's right.
they
Yeah.
would claim that my T-shirt was $20, but because it's 80% off, it's now like 5 or 4, and I'm like, well, that's the normal price. Plus, it says on the sticker where it's made, so I have a good idea that it wasn't really a $20 shirt anyways. But that's a different topic.
Well, why don't
Wish
we?
my city would run sales. That way, the commercial sector gets a boost, so I can build more skyscrapers.
Yeah, I want to see if City Skylines DLC is on sale.
Oh, the After Dark
Because
one? Yeah, I think it is
yeah,
too. I mean, like almost everything is on sale. Like freaking, like you could buy Psychonauts for $1.
yeah. Actually, Psychonauts I've had for a while, just sitting on my desktop. But for $1, that's ridiculous. That is
You can buy
ridiculous.
games. I mean, granted, there would be like really small games or like really old games, but you could buy them for $1. If you only have $1, you can still buy a game. Freaking think about it. For far less than the price of a lunch, you can buy a game.
Oh yeah, way less than the price of a lunch.
Think about it.
Especially if Evelyn's coming.
Yeah, think about it. For the price of a $60 game, you can buy like 50 smaller games, or cheaper games, or older games, whatever, Steam sells. 50 games. So, good value.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Obviously, the stuff that doesn't go on sale is the stuff that just came out. Like, I don't think Rainbow Six Siege is on sale at all. I mean, that just came out like 3 weeks ago. So, stuff like that will not be on sale because it's too new. But forget the whole store, like almost anything you find, anything you want to rebuy, you can buy. Like, would you like to buy Grand Theft Auto 5, the super remastered edition? Like, you thought it was remastered once, but no, it was remastered again for PC, being less than 2 years
remaster
old.
was remastered.
The remastered was remastered, and the game wasn't even 2 years old yet. Freaking.
Oh man.
Okay, but yeah, they made lots of money on Grand Theft Auto, so okay, whatever. It wasn't good enough that you did a PS4 and Xbox One version, but you got to make the PC guys feel good. So there you go. God damn it.
But yeah, no, Steam sales are amazing, and you guys should totally get on that if you can, because like Anthony was saying, Steam sales are best for games that you've missed, like or games that you haven't been able to play for a long time because maybe it's last generation and you have your Xbox in the closet or something like that. That's actually exactly why I bought Burnout, is because for one, it's been on my mind lately, and then for two, I really didn't want to pull up my old system just to play it. It was $5. No one's gonna complain about $5, but yeah, get on that, guys. It's awesome.
Steam is also, and this is not just related to Steam sales, but Steam can be amazing because you can play old games again. Because one of the issues with PC gaming before all this digital emulation and stuff like this was, operating systems get changed really, really heavy. Like, I remember, I really regret this now, but I threw away my first ever racing games. And that was Need for Speed 3 and Need for Speed 4. They came out in like 97 and 99, I think. And the reason why I threw it away was because the games were too old. They don't run on Windows XP. They don't work with my video cards. You had to Google some really interesting stuff, and this was back in the days when search engines weren't exactly, top of class quite yet. And so I threw it away, and I kind of regret it now. But nowadays, you want to play like a really old late 90s game like Doom? Heck, yeah. You can download it on Steam. It's got an emulation set up. It's ready to go. You just download, hit play. Maybe you're going to have some problems with setting up your controller. But that's okay. The developer, if they care enough, will take care of that for you. So, like, I have a friend, he bought, like, Turok. Like, the late 90s Turok.
Okay, nice.
And plugged in his Xbox 360 controller, boot the game up, and here you go. He's playing a late 90s Turok game. And he gets to play all this stuff again. He doesn't have to worry about the fact that his computer runs on Windows 7. He doesn't have to worry about drivers. He doesn't have to worry about, getting some iffy copy of Windows 98 and running it through a VirtualBox. You don't have to worry about that. And you just download on Steam and hit play, and well, bam, there's your late 90s game, and it's working with your Xbox 360 controller.
Oftentimes with those kind of games, like the Doom, the Quakes, the Unreal Tournaments, they have collections too. And during this time of the year, they're super, super cheap.
Would you like everything in Oblivion for $5?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, there you go. It's like what, like if I were to play Skyrim again, like right now. Okay, so I got Skyrim for 50% off, and that was a bad idea because I really wanted to get Skyrim on PC, but it was only through the Bethesda pack, and then I bought it through the Bethesda pack, and then 2 days later it was actually a separate sale for 50% off, so I'm pissed about that. But anyways, if I were to buy Skyrim again, I would get all that DLC and I would play it on my PC, because to go through that same BS on the consoles would be much more expensive.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, Steam sales, fantastic deals.
Oh yeah, definitely. Anthony, do you have any news? I only have like 2 things, and Steam happened to be one of them.
It's Christmas.
Yeah, exactly.
It's Christmas.
Let me get this little tidbit out of the way first, and then let's talk about Christmas. Because Christmas is awesome, and we got some stuff and some things. Well, Anthony got some stuff and some things. Anyway, Super Mario Galaxy is on the Wii U now, so the original, as of Christmas Eve. And there you go. So let's talk about Christmas.
Super Mario Galaxy. I actually have that on my Wii. I'm glad I got Super Mario Galaxy 2 because it's actually better than Galaxy 1. The only thing I would say is Galaxy 2 is quite a lot harder than Galaxy 1 from what I remembered. I mean, like, Super Mario Galaxy 2, it was hard for me to just, like, finish the quote-unquote story mode. Like, get enough stars to, like, beat Bowser. Because I don't remember, because obviously I knew I sucked a lot more at games when I had Galaxy 1 back in 07. So, yeah. Galaxy 2 is kind of hard. I mean, said though, Galaxy 2 is hella awesome.
Yeah, well, both of them are really awesome.
Oh yeah, Galaxy 2 is awesome. I freaking love 3D World. Galaxy 2 is amazing. I'm like, oh man, I finally found Mario games that I get passionate about, but isn't just Super Mario 64.
Yeah.
Although that being said, though, there probably wasn't much between 64. I mean, I guess that's just Sunshine, right? I don't think that's saying much because it's still most of them.
I like Sunshine.
I have a GameCube but never bought Sunshine.
I'm wondering if you would like it. I don't think you would like it very much.
Is that? I mean, I don't know. I don't know how people generally think of Sunshine. It's probably the oddball Mario game that is like, eh.
Oh, it definitely is.
Yeah, that's probably why.
But it's a good game. I liked it. Well, anyway, Anthony, I'm curious. What did Santa Claus bring you for Christmas?
What did Santa Claus bring me for Christmas? Well, let's see. I got let's see. I got a tablet.
Ooh.
It's a yeah, that's what everyone says until I have to point out it is a sub $100 tablet.
Which tablet is it?
It's not an iPad, guys. No, it is not remotely close to an iPad. It is a I mean, how do I put this? It is one of those really inexpensive Chinese design, Chinese built tablets.
Okay.
So this thing is not like the most blazingly powerful thing. If anything, there's probably some shady things about it that I'm not entirely sure about. But for the purpose of appreciating the gift, I'm not gonna bash this thing
Yeah.
quite yet. But a tablet, I'll figure out a use for it. I thought of some crazy ideas. Like, I was thinking about going as far as to wipe out the entire Android operating system and install Linux on it. I thought about going that far until I realized there isn't really a practical way for me to do this, because tablets are like, I would think that at this point they would figure out some awesome way to put Linux on your tablet, but they still haven't done that yet because I guess the way the tablets run, it just isn't really practical. But it's a tablet. I'm trying to figure out some awesome ways to use it. Personally, I'm like gonna get like a Bluetooth keyboard or something like that, pair it up, and there you go. It's my low noise typing machine.
Low noise typing machine.
I'll also like buy a little stand for it too, because having it sitting down flat on my desk isn't very practical when I want to like say look at a guide, because maybe I don't really need my entire desktop machine on just so I could look up a guide for Majora's Mask, but I can have a tablet do that. That's pretty awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's this tab. I mean, to be honest, once you go under $100, that's when you really, really, really know it's cheap tablet. It's not really meant to do too much. I mean, like the thing can barely run Hearthstone, and even then, it doesn't run it well because it stutters a lot, and the touchscreen is not very precise. So yeah, this is really a case of you do get what you pay for. This is clearly not a $500 iPad. But it will have a use, just basic uses. So I'm going to turn it into my typing and basic viewing system, basic web browsing. Runs the latest version of Android. So I guess that is one modern thing going for it. It has the latest version of Android 5.1 Lollipop.
Nice.
The speaker... It's kind of hard not to bash on this thing. I'm really sorry. Because I don't want to like bash on this gift, because I appreciate the gift, and this is my first ever tablet, so if anything this is gonna be kind of a bit of an experience for me, because I'm gonna figure out is tablets something I really need right now. Because for some people tablets totally make sense. They're more practical than laptops, they're easier to take out than laptops, you certainly don't have to boot them, and there is a use for tablets. It's just that, it kind of depends what you do. So, this thing is going to help me decide if, tablets really help. But, I'm not going to bash on this gift. It's a tablet, and, it runs Android, like my smartphone. So, yeah. Fun fact, this tablet is less powerful than my 2-year-old smartphone.
Ouch.
I don't know. Yeah. It's so easy to bash this tablet. I am so sorry. I am so sorry. Like, I don't want to. It's a gift, and I don't want to. But goddamn, if I wrote a review on this tablet, there would be so much bashing. It's not even funny. Or it could be funny. Maybe in the future.
Well, yeah, I hope you end up finding a good use for it.
Oh, I will. Like I said, get a Bluetooth keyboard, because typing can't be that hard for this thing to process. But it's gonna be like my low noise web machine, because I'll figure out some use for it. Reading is a good thing for a tablet too, because well, to be honest, phone screens are too tiny. So one reason why tablets can be awesome: reading. So if I ever buy books on Google Play,
Kindle or Nook or something,
or something like that, tablet screens, you can read on them. just make sure the place is well lit, because having a bright screen into your face, yeah, your eyes will hurt.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, so I got that. Okay, so that's me looping about the tablet. I got an amiibo.
Which one?
I got an amiibo. I got a Lucina amiibo. But
nice.
The catch is, it is a Japanese import because, for obvious reasons, Nintendo made enough stuff for Japan, but not the rest of the world. Lucina is one of them. Because
that's still really good. That is actually cooler, the fact that you have a Japanese import.
It's actually not that bad. Japanese imported amiibos are like $20 or $25, which is actually not that bad compared to the price gouging on everything else that is not from Japan or Europe. So, apparently it's pronounced Lucina in Japan? Don't quote me on that one. That's just what one person learning Japanese told me.
Yeah.
Learning Japanese keyword. I got Lucina amiibo. Japanese import, because that way you didn't have to pay $60 for an American amiibo, because Nintendo likes to create shortages for all things Fire Emblem related. I don't know why.
Really annoying, actually.
It is hella annoying. In fact, they decided to finally make more Martha amiibos, so much as to the fact that there's now an entire shelf of them at our local Best Buy.
Have you happened to try purchasing the Fire Emblem Collector's Edition again at all?
You can't. You just can't. There's not even a button to say pre-order. You just can't. Invalid. Invalid. And I'm just like, Fire Emblem Awakening is popular. You don't think your next one's gonna be popular, considering that you shoved like 5 or 7 or 10 Fire Emblem characters into your frickin' Smash game? Dear goodness. I love Fire Emblem. It's like, for me, I care more about Fire Emblem than probably Zelda, believe it or not. But, dear goodness, like, make more.
Yeah.
Jeez, I was actually prepared to spend $80 so I can have one of each version of the game, but like Awakening, I kind of understand. It was an unexpected success, and it took a while, for them to make enough, and it was an unexpected success. But you don't think your new one's gonna be popular? Not after you like shoved Roy and more Fire Emblem with more Fire Emblem. Like, oh my goodness! In our Final Smash presentation, we'd like to present to you with another Fire Emblem character. Anyways, but yes, I got the amiibo. I'm happy about that. Speaking of Lucina, I got another Lucina thing. It's also imported from Japan, and it is I can't see the box from here, but it is a Lucina action figure. It's also imported from Japan, and it's one of those action figures where apparently you can, I think you can change the stance, and you can also change like her face, so that you can have normal Lucina face, you can have blushing Lucina face, and you can also put her Marth look on.
Oh, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah. Why the hell don't they sell this merchandise in America? Like,
I have no idea.
This stuff is like, this is an official Nintendo licensed action figure, and I look at this stuff and I'm like, how come Japan gets all the cool stuff and we always have to keep importing it? Like, why don't they sell this in America? Same goes with that dragon statue that I have from my Final Fantasy Heavensward collection. I could tell from the box it was clearly a merchandise item from Japan. But anyway, so I got 2 Lucina thingies. What else did I get? I got Project Cars, the racing game.
Oh, nice.
That is, it's a good-ish racing game. If you are a big fan of motorsports racing, like actual cars, like decals, hard edge racing, slicks, racetracks, and that kind of stuff, Project Cars for you. Forza Motorsport. Forza Motorsport is not really motorsport. It's basically you just driving. I mean, yeah, there's some motorsport, but it's nowhere near intense as Project Cars. Like in Project Cars, you're doing stuff like adjusting camber, slicks. You have your crew chief and race engineer and all that crazy stuff, and GT5, GT1 racing, that kind of stuff. A good-ish racing game. That was actually, I think, number 6 on my overall top 10 list.
Oh, nice.
If you want to know what it's really like driving race cars on a racetrack, this game can tell you it's pretty terrifying. Like in Forza, like Forza and Gran Turismo make driving cars fast kind of leisurely and simple and cool. Whereas Project Cars says, if you want to drive a car fast, you better be ready to get scared really bad. Because racing is very scary. And you're racing with a helmet on your head, so you can't really see. Let's see. So there's that one. What else did I get that was gaming related? I don't remember. I think that's it for now. I can't remember anything else. So yes, I got Lucina, a card game, and a inexpensive tablet. How about you, John?
I got like no gaming stuff, but I got a lot of stuff that's like full. I guess.
A lot of what?
Like I got like a new backpack. I got a new Sooners hat. I got a ton of stuff for the movies, which I'm kind of psyched for because I never go to the movies. So now I have every reason to go.
For the movies,
like gift cards.
Oh, actually, that could really come in handy.
Oh yeah.
Backpack is also very useful, and so is a hat.
Yeah, no, I'm happy about that. I'm super psyched about the hat and the backpack.
Don't you feel kind of old when a backpack gets you stoked?
Yeah.
Because it's like when you're a kid, you don't want backpacks. You don't want new socks. You want toys. You want games. But then when you're an adult, when you get a new backpack, you're just, like, if I got a new backpack, yeah, like if I got like new socks right now, I would be like, oh my goodness, I needed new socks. I'm not joking. I actually would get excited about that. If I got like a new hat, I'll be like, heck yeah, new hat.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I was pretty psyched about the hat. My parents got me. I've always had the original Star Wars trilogy. My parents got me the new Star Wars trilogy, Blu-rays.
How do you feel about well, I should say the 90s trilogy, the prequel trilogy.
Oh, I love them. Like the original trilogy. Oh, you mean the new trilogy? New trilogy's all right.
Because the problem is that the new trilogy now
anymore. You're right.
Reason why,
it's not the new trilogy anymore.
Like to me, the new trilogy is not the new trilogy anymore because the new trilogy just came out like 2 weeks ago.
So yeah, so what are we gonna call them?
So I think what we're looking at right now is the sequel trilogy because it's episode number 7. Trilogy. The prequel trilogy is 1 to 3, and the original is 4 to 6. So I guess we're looking at the sequel trilogy because Han Solo is an old man now. Okay,
so but you were asking me about the prequel trilogy.
Yeah, that's what I got, right?
I've been talking about that I've been talking like that for the longest time. And so I haven't realized until you just brought it up, the fact that is no longer the new trilogy.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, anyway, I dig them. Like they're not.
Way to feel old.
Yeah. Right. Jeez. I dig them. They're not super amazing, but it's more Star Wars. The Phantom Menace is all right. The Attack of the Clones is not very good at all. But then Revenge of the Sith is a really good movie. So
I think that's how everyone feels. It's like the first one's like, all right. It's not the original, but it's all right.
Yeah.
The second one was, man, teenagers,
moody teenagers,
love story. I don't remember much about the second movie other than that freaking love plot.
The dialogue is so bad.
I don't remember much about the second. I don't remember much about the second movie other than I just think of all I have to think about is love plot, and I'm just like,
it hurts my brain.
The first movie at least was kind of cool because you got little baby Anakin doing really darn gifted things.
And you get freaking Darth Maul.
I'm sorry.
You get Darth Maul.
Darth Maul, I think, is pretty badass.
Yeah,
I
Darth
think
Maul's
he's
super badass.
like that. That's my favorite kind of lightsaber. It's that dual-ended one. Highly dangerous because obviously, if you mess it up, you could accidentally lop your own arm off.
Oh yeah, if
Which,
if I were to wield one, my arm would be gone. In fact, both of my arms would probably be gone
yeah.
simultaneously
So
somehow.
single lightsaber to me is, that's just nothing more than a sword. Two dual wielding lightsabers. Yeah, I don't care about that. But the Sith saber, I think that's what they call it. The dual ended one. Now that's really awesome. Like when whenever I play Star Wars Battlefront 2, I always do the Coruscant. And whenever I do the droid side on the Coruscant map, I always enable heroes all the time because the way Darth Maul, when you charge forward and use the attack, because the blade is so wide, you can like mow down an alley.
Yeah.
That's why the dual-ended saber is cool. And when I did my when I played Jedi Academy, same thing. My Jaden had the dual-ended lightsaber, and I'm just like, this is my favorite.
Yeah.
Apparently, according to Star Wars: The Old Republic, the Sith prefer it obviously because pure power and obvious reasons. Episode 1 had some cool things going for it. Baby, like little small Anakin being really gifted was kind of cool. Second movie, I'm just thinking, love plot. Third movie, The Downfall. Yeah, that was actually kind of a really interesting bit right there.
Yeah, I dug it. It was a good movie. Super violent. At that time, there hadn't been a Star Wars that's really been that violent.
What was it, like Anakin like nearly died sinking into lava or something?
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, he gets cut in half.
That happened. That's how Darth Vader happened, and that's how the respiratory thing happened. Yep.
Yeah. It was good. I'm happy to have all 6 of them now.
I need to buy them so that way I know the plots of all of them, because for some reason my problem with Star Wars personally is I know I've watched them, but I don't remember the plot at all. Like if you told me right now and says, okay, write the basic plot of Star Wars Episode 3, I wouldn't remember it other than like the highlights. Like very specific highlights, which is but then of course when I sit down and watch the movies, I'm like, yeah, I remember that. But if you told me to write an essay, I would completely blank out. So that probably gave some fans a heart attack, but it's just
the prequel trilogy is the one that I forget. The original trilogy I'll never forget. It's like I know it like the back of my hand.
Yeah, I remember really specific one, partly because I read it before I saw the movies or remembered the movies, because I know I borrowed all 6 films from my uncle and watched them all at once when I was still in high school, and now I forgot some of it again. Yeah, it's pretty shameful, I know, because
there are 6 of them, so you can't really be blamed.
Well, I know the basic plot. It's just I know the beginning of Star Wars before it was called New Hope. That's the other thing too.
Yeah.
Is that when Star Wars came out, I heard this on the radio and the radio hosts were kind of confused. But before it was called Star Wars: A New Hope, it was simply just Star Wars. If anything, one of my high school teachers, he had, I don't know if it was a replica, but I think it's a replica of the original Star Wars poster. What it was simply called Star Wars before it exploded. The reason why I think they called it A New Hope was because I think all the other movies had a sort of subtitle attached to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it wasn't planned. Like the trilogy wasn't planned, right? I'm pretty sure
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't really remember either.
I don't think it was ever called Star Wars and then Star Wars 2, The Empire Strikes Back. It was just Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back. So I don't know if they ever actually realized it would actually explode like that. We're not Star Wars experts. We're sorry.
Yeah, we apologize. Good call, Anthony. We don't want to upset them.
We do not want to mess this up, and we're sorry, everyone. We're not Star Wars experts. Like, here's the thing: I like Star Wars, but I'm not fanatical about it, and I'm not like super intense about it. Like, I like Star Wars movies. I love very certain Star Wars games, but let me put it this way: how shameful is it that I liked the Star Wars games before I saw the movies? Any of them?
I don't know. I wouldn't say that's shameful.
Well, it's really weird. It's like Pokemon. I didn't play the games and then saw the TV show. I saw the TV show, then played the games.
No, I was the same way, Anthony,
I saw Star Wars. Like, I saw Star Wars, but it was just kind of more like at a cousin's house watching it for like 10 minutes and then getting bored. Or, not bored, but I was really little. I think it was probably episode 1. I remember that. It was the race. That whatever.
Oh, the pod race.
The pod race. Yeah, I remember I saw the pod race when I was like 5 years old or something like that. I remember that pod race, but that was all that's all I saw, and I'm like, oh, pod race, science fiction, huh? And my first ever Star Wars experience was probably that little. It was this really plasticky control thingy hooked up to the PC via the serial port, and I think it was called TIE Fighter, and I couldn't figure out how to make the game work because I would just pull random switches and I would warp speed to nothing. It's just, you're in blank space, warp speed to more blank space. Yeah, I didn't know what I was doing. But, I was 5.
Yeah.
Didn't even know how to play a racing game straight, just crashed into every wall possible. Man, 5. But yeah, I'll see the new movie one day. Everyone likes it, at the bare minimum likes it. So I'll see it one day. Just waiting for the theaters to thin out a little bit.
No, that's good because I went and saw it on Tuesday, and the theaters were like ridiculously packed.
Yeah. I'm also not the kind of movie guy that needs the super high-end IMAX reclining chair theater either.
Yeah, me neither. I don't understand it. I always just go to the theater closest to me.
Yeah, like I just gotta go to a regular theater because to me, what I want from a good theater is... Okay, so obviously I'm not watching at home, so clearly it has to be a theater for a reason other than to see a movie earlier than before the DVD version. That's because I want an awesome huge screen and I want a kick-ass audio system. And every theater, at minimum, has to have a kick-ass audio system. So, and the seats need to be just comfortable enough for me to sit in it for 3 hours. That's really all I need out of a theater.
Yeah, I mean, me too. I'm not, as far as theaters go, I'm not really hard to please.
Yeah, but, then again, I went to theaters when I was like 10 years old, and back then the highest, coolest theaters, basically the most they could do was a big picture quality and awesome sound, and that's it. That's all you really need.
Yeah. Well, what other news do we have here? Do we have any other news?
Probably not.
Please tell me that we have comments, because I would like to talk to our beautiful fans.
Well, I know we did get comments in other things. That's probably not unscripted. Let me check unscripted first. Ugh.
I feel you, Anthony.
Yeah.
The holidays are just about over, and it's kind of nice.
I'm sorry if I talked too much on this episode.
Oh, no, you're fine.
I think I talked 30 minutes straight about City Skylines without letting you have a word in, and then I think I What else I talked about? Kept going off topic when talking about Christmas gifts.
No, I mean it's you actually for one you actually got gaming related Christmas gifts, so that's good. And then for two, if you're excited about a game, definitely talk about it. And you're excited about City Skylines, so that's good. That is definitely good. I haven't. I mean, I've been playing a lot of Bloodborne since. Anthony knows I can't talk about it yet, but since a certain event happened, I've been playing a lot of Bloodborne lately.
Okay,
Really good game. It's awesome.
A game of the year thing happened, but we can't really talk about how we feel about it until the list actually goes up. So you're gonna have to wait till next week. Yep.
Yeah. Guys will have to wait until the article goes live for that.
Let's see. I'm finding through spam right now.
Spam.
Yeah, it's really bad. Okay, so I might as well hurry up. What page? So no more awkward silence. Here we go. Let's see. Miter says, "So glad Kojima kicked Konami in the effing ass." So I believe
I'm assuming this.
Yeah, this is referring
to
Kojima
Sony.
Productions, now under Sony.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I'm happy about that.
I'm very curious as to see what again, like what Kojima will make. He can make anything now.
He really can. It's gonna be awesome.
He just can't say Metal Gear on it.
But hopefully it's it probably can't have any Metal Gear related, I'm assuming.
Well, it can, I'm pretty sure it can be a game that's like inspired by Metal Gear or heavily Metal Gear. It just can't be called Metal Gear. So he's probably gonna have to come up with new names for all the characters.
Man, it's pretty exciting. Like out of everything going on in the gaming world right now, that is probably the thing that people are most anticipating. I'm really looking forward to it. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, like I don't know what's gonna happen. Apparently, I saw an article where they were already doing fan art for his Kojima Productions logo, and it's pretty creative. He's got his fans.
Oh yeah, Bremen showed you, right? Or he said something.
Oh, do you mean the fan artwork?
No, I thought you were talking about the logo.
Oh well, yeah. What fans did was they took the new Kojima's production logo and they made like fan art based on that. It was kind of cool.
Okay, it's awesome.
It looks pretty cool actually, because obviously it's kind of like a skull inside a helmet, sort of. I need to look this up so I'm not getting the description wrong.
Well, I think the easiest way would be for me.
Okay,
to
look so it's like a skull inside a Spartan helmet in a sort of steampunk Dishonored kind of way. So there was like various fan art that kind of they drew stuff based on that. Okay, so next comment.
Oh, that is really cool. Sorry, guys. I was looking it up. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah. So I was like looking for Kojima Productions logos on Google Images, and obviously his logo is still really new, so it was kind of hard. But yeah.
Happy for Kojima. That's awesome. His future with Sony is going to be sweet.
Yeah. Okay, so their next comment is from Wens. PSX was lame. Xbox experience would be a lot better.
I'm pretty sure they'd be pretty similar.
I think it really depends on what you like. So, personally, for my experiences at PSX, I was kind of a little bored, for two big reasons. Is the biggest stuff that they showed at PSX was there was like some PlayStation stuff, but there was a lot of new experimental stuff, some multiplats, and a lot of indie stuff. And the show floor was kind of similar to that. You had Uncharted, you had Battleborn. I think Battleborn's also a multi-plat, but it's like there was like various multi-plat stuff and a little bit of Sony, but a lot of it was like PlayStation VR, a lot of indies, and a lot of smaller new stuff. So I got kind of bored because I've never really been that passionate about PlayStation. I like the PlayStation was probably the last of the three that I got into. Like I got into PC gaming, Nintendo and Xbox before I got to PlayStation. PlayStation was like the last one, and that wasn't until like 2010 when I got my PS3 finally. And I've never been passionate about it. I'm not really into indie games either. So if you are a fan of PlayStation and indies, that convention will make you happy. For example, Bronson, he will be very happy about PSX, and he is.
Oh yeah, probably would have had a good time there.
Yeah, for me personally, I would actually be more excited about Xbox experience because, well, Xbox kind of relies a lot more on their first party stuff than Sony, because Sony at this point, they're like, you've got the best selling game console, so there you go. But Xbox, they would probably talk a lot more about Halo, a lot more about Forza. Because there's a Forza game coming out every year. It's not like with Gran Turismo where they basically they take forever to get things done. But they'll talk more about Gears of War, and to me that's more exciting because I have more affinity with Xbox than with PlayStation, so I would be more excited about Xbox experience. And I like Phil Spencer. He's cool. The Sony guy, the Sony executives, I just don't feel it. I just don't feel it.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I was thinking about the experience as a whole, like if you're there,
Yeah, for me, like I said, because I've never been that passionate about PlayStation and I'm not a fan of indies, I think it would be more exciting for me if I went to Xbox experience. And if it was Nintendo experience, just totally sign me up. I don't care. Just totally sign me up for Nintendo experience, okay? If Nintendo did that, I would totally sign up without a doubt. Xbox, sure. PlayStation, maybe not.
I don't know. Yeah, I prefer PlayStation myself, but
yeah,
I don't know. I'm not really that. What I'm looking for. I'm not really that. I don't care that much about it,
I guess I kind of walked into it expecting like huge announcements, but the huge announcements was a new gameplay trailer for Final Fantasy VII, which I totally get. Street Fighter V, yep, totally get that. Ni no Kuni 2, also get that. But they talked a lot about PlayStation VR, and to me it just looks like a conventional VR setup where you strap something to your head. But the thing I kind of feel is that could be really expensive considering that, Samsung came out with this Samsung Gear VR thing where you actually, it's a thing that you put on your head, obviously, but you stick your phone into it. You put your phone in it, and bam, there's your VR right there. Okay. And I feel like that is a lot more cost effective than having to buy a new headset for questionable things. Like, Nick was not very happy about Sony Santa Monica was making that zombie taxi game. It seems kind of like the stereotypical this stuff is not going to fly or sell VR in any way kind of lame stuff. But that was one of the big things they were pitching. Uncharted 4! That was also awesome. They only had the multiplayer playable on the show floor, which basically turned out to be the same as the multiplayer beta that everyone else got to play a couple weekends ago.
Yeah, I figured if they had any gameplay wise, it would be fairly similar to that beta. It was good though. That beta was awesome.
Yeah. Nick, Nick's really. Wait, was it? Yeah, Nick was really good at it. He was really good at it, and I had fun too.
At Uncharted?
It's a the Uncharted multiplayer when we were at E3, not E3, PSX.
Yeah.
I think that was the one he was really good at. I had fun. It's a very fun curiosity. Obviously, it's not like a Halo multiplayer where that is like 70% of the game, but it's a fun curiosity to toy around in. Very loose controls. You can just blind fire your shotgun while frantically running away from a grenade.
Yeah, that's kind of awesome.
Yeah.
It was good. It was fun.
Okay, so various comments from other places. So the first one's from 60 Minute Access when we did NBA 2K16 in a hotel room. It was me versus Nick. Great, he says, damn, Nick was abusing Curry. Yes, Nick did. Stephen Curry.
Yeah.
Warriors. I hope I pronounced his name right.
Yeah, you pronounced it right. It's Curry.
Okay, Curry. Yeah. Hella OP. The way Nick was using Curry, it's like that guy who always picks the Patriots in Madden. Or no, sorry,
he's
not
good with
that.
Tom Brady.
It's the guy who always picks the Super Bowl champion in Madden.
Yeah.
For the easiest way, but one hand I'm like, yeah, the game lets you, and two, it makes me work a lot harder to make sure I beat your OP team. But at the same time, it's like, what sportsmanship? It's like, I'm just gonna pick the easiest way to win. Well, okay, whatever.
That's Nick for you.
Yeah, and in part 2, Miter says, haha, what a blowout. Yeah, I was lucky to even have half of Nick's score at the end. He had like 100-something points, and I had like 50-something.
Huh.
In the TGA Gamecraft Gamecast episode, Miter says, thoughts on Star Wars movie?
Really good. It's really good. It's definitely worth seeing, I think. And I don't say that a lot about movies, but definitely don't watch it unless you've at least seen A New Hope, A New Hope and Return of the Jedi. So you might as well just watch all 3 of the original trilogy.
I hope I remember enough of that plot to watch the new one.
I think you'd dig it, Anthony. It's a really good movie. It's pretty sick.
I'm pretty sure. Let's see. Person says on the new TJ comic, The Scenery, which is referring to the Wasteland, I keep dying and it's pissing me off. They made this game too hard.
Huh? I don't know. I haven't had trouble with the new Fallout.
With me in Fallout 3, I got out of the vault, I did some questing, I got lost, I stepped on a bajillion mines, broke both my legs, and ran out of stim packs. And I gave up.
Oh, don't worry. That same thing can happen in the new one.
Yep. Referring to Bronson's top 10 games of 2015. No Witcher? No Dying Light? What type of list is this?
Well, I agree that Dying Light's not on the top 10, but yeah, The Witcher, I know it's ridiculous. And we just nod in our heads and say, okay.
It's not his kind of game.
It's not, yeah. Bronson does not like Western RPGs. That will never, ever, ever change.
Yeah. Well, he likes very specific Western RPGs. It's like how I like very specific shooters, which is Star Wars Battlefront 2 and Halo Reach. That's it. For him, it's like Mass Effect 2 and Oblivion. That's it.
Yeah. Oblivion was really good. Actually, both of those games were really, really phenomenal.
Yo, yeah. Oblivion is... like, that's my first ever open world game, and I'm pretty sure it is for a lot of people, because it was just like, whoa. Granted, of course, looking at that mountain definitely. Now is atrocious, but back in the day, it was just like, whoa. Because that was the first game I ever bought on my Xbox 360. And I had never played an open world game before that. So to see that kind of sunset... I mean, it seems a little cheesy when you think about it. You just walked out of the prison and it's sunset, so you get the gorgeous, beautiful colors on the
Well, you
sunny
know what
day.
got me? You know what got me was the late at night. It had you could see like all of the planets and all of the stars and stuff.
Oh yeah. For me, it was the distant view, and then of course I didn't know you could fast travel to your next big city in that game, so I walked the entire way to the city. Yeah, that was a hell of an adventure.
Yeah,
In
that
Skyrim,
game
you
is
actually
really
do
awesome.
have to walk to every. You have to actually do travel on foot or on horse to every city you come across, which I feel is a little annoying because Skyrim's even bigger to walk on than Oblivion, and the landscape's a lot more boring to look at because snow, trees, rocks.
Yeah,
That's it.
little creeks every now and then.
Yeah. I actually had to look up Dying Light actually did came out in January. I thought it was last year's game. Okay. Last comment I see is referring to my top 10 games of 2015. It's from Great T. Never would have thought Anthony would have a sports game in his 10. Yeah, NBA 2K16 snuck in at the last minute because I played it at PSX and it was awesome. Let me put it this way. I am interested in watching basketball now.
Yeah, that game is really awesome. It does everything that sports games needs to do right.
Can you like imagine NFL 2K15? Can you just imagine how good that would be? Because
yeah, be awesome.
We always complain about the announcers and Madden. And he caught it to the 30, to the 20, to the 10, touchdown. You see, Jim, he's got great tenacity. He saw the open receiver. He threw the ball, and the receiver just made a great catch, and that's how they got the touchdown. I never knew Phil Simms and Jim Nantz could be that lame of commentators.
Yeah.
And they sound almost like that on actual broadcasts, and I'm like, oh man, these are not my favorite commentators on TV at all.
Agreed. I definitely agree.
Yeah. Meanwhile, in NBA 2K16, freaking, I'm catching up to Bremen. I'm trying to like take the lead from Bremen. I'm only like 4 or 6 points away. I shoot a 2-pointer and it goes in. And then the announcer's like, he made it. And Bremen and I was just like perked up and we're like, wait, that shot made it?
And then the crowd goes crazy on
the crowd goes wild because it was I played the Antonio Spurs and it was the home game. So the announcers were stoked, the crowd was going livid, and Bremen and I were just sitting there and we were shocked that whoever I shot the ball with actually made the shot, and I'm just like, this is why it's awesome. They commentate well. And that's just one thing. That's one of many things. Like in that game, everything that you do up to scoring, getting the ball through the hoop, you were a part of that. Every pass, that was you. It's not like in Madden where you push a button to pass and then probability dice roll thingy says, yeah, you can catch it.
Yeah.
Same goes with sacks and all that kind of stuff. Now, the only time this thing is BS is with Stephen Curry, because Stephen or Steven?
Stephen.
Thank you. Stephen Curry. Yeah, Stephen. Okay, obviously Nick's just like, I'm gonna stand 17 miles away from the hoop. Let me shoot. Oh, it goes in. Free 3 points. And I'm just like, stupid OP stuff. Man,
it's all like that game is really, really good. It's probably, actually, I would say easily the best sports game out right now.
Oh my goodness, I want to get into basketball now. I just need to find my favorite team. I want to watch basketball now. And I guess it's like, for me, the appealing thing about basketball is there's a lot of scoring. Like, scoring happens quickly. Like, you would like rack up like 100 plus points a game, and that would be normal. There's a lot of scoring. Whereas in football, you could get like 13 points one side, 20 points other side, and you have spent way more time watching commercials than an actual game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Those quarters in football actually aren't very long, but because there's so many commercials, the game actually sort of goes 3 hours.
Yeah, the ball games are super long now because of that. 15
Yeah.
minutes turns into like an hour.
He's punting it. Commercial. PAT commercial. Touchdown. PAT
Commercial.
commercial. Halftime show. Game analysis commercials. Man, so much advertising.
Yeah.
Okay, but
Yeah, way too much. Yeah, anyway.
Referring back to the sports game in my top 10. Yep, that snuck in, and NBA 2K16 is really good. What are you gonna do next year? You can't do better than this, right? Oh, they'll find a way to do better.
Oh, they will. They have in the last few.
Like Bremen told me, they said NBA 2K15 was the best basketball game ever, and now 2K16 is the best ever. I'm like, what are you gonna do in 2017? I mean, like, the only really glaring thing I could see about NBA 2K16, at least from presentation, was that set that they put for the show analysis guys. It looks last gen. That's basically it.
Yeah.
Bad lighting, not much detailing. It just looks like some really 80s set designed for an Xbox 360 system. But yeah, this is actually the second time ever a sports game made it into my top 10. The first time I think was 2012. In 2012, I put Madden NFL 13. Or is it 14? Anyways, a Madden game got a number 3 on my list because back at that time, I was really getting into football. The 2012 Chicago Bears were doing kind of good, and I just got obsessed with like running the perfect defense in Madden. And I don't know, it's just one of those games where I just couldn't stop playing because it was just like, I need to shut the other team down completely. If I let them have more than 3 points, it is fail. And at the time, that is true because I sucked at offense, so the defense literally had to hold them to 3 points, or it was a fail. So let's be honest here, when I can only score like 10 or 17 points a game, that's not good. That is not good. So that's why I'm a very defensive-minded person when I play football. Particularly, I remember my run defense was actually tops in the Madden League that Bronson ran at the time. I'm not
nice.
I don't know how it was freaking possible, but I had like one of the best defenses in the Madden League. I was number 1 in rush defense. You don't run the football, you will lose yards. And that actually worked against Bronson. Now, obviously, the pass is a little bit different, and Bronson's a little smarter than that, but yeah, he and I fought each other off the Super Bowl, and I lost.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also played against the computer a lot, and at the time, the computer is highly predictable because I would score like 50 points a game. Devin Hester was the top receiver in the Madden League. Yeah, it was. That tells you how unsophisticated Madden is the fact that I can abuse Devin Hester, and he's the number 1 receiver in the league. By far.
It was kind of funny. It was actually hilarious.
Oh man, it's so stupid. It's just like, oh, they're playing off the receiver. I'll call, 4 verticals. Everyone runs streaks. Oh, Devin Hester is. Oh wait, what was it? Was it press? Yeah, I think it was press. Oh, they're doing press. Oh, let me call 4 verticals. Everyone runs streaks. Oh look, Devin Hester is a really speedy guy. Let me lop this super deep pass and get both Jay Cutler and Devin Hester super yards. Oh look, I won by a factor of 30. Yeah,
nice.
That was yeah.
It's the way to do it.
I'm not really that too much into football anymore for some reason. Probably because the Bears
do we have
suck
any other?
Right now.
Oh yeah, well the Chargers are one of the worst in the league, so I feel you.
Yeah.
Do we have any other comments?
Year. I know this is still a little off topic, but I just watched that play where Phillip Rivers recovers the fumble of his own interception.
Yeah.
I don't know how. I don't. Yeah, that.
Like, how do you? I don't even understand how. Like, when you make an interception, you let that happen.
Yeah, well, I guess defensive players are not exactly trained to hold on to the football too well.
I guess not.
I
Yeah.
also noticed that the person was trying to move the football from his right arm to his left arm, and that's where the fumble happened. It got kind of crowded, and that's how it slipped. But it worked out in San Diego's favor because recovering the fumble was a first down.
Yeah, that's true.
That was the craziest thing, too. It was just, wow. Anyways, comments. Yes, that was the last comment.
All right. Well, is there anything you want to bring up or say before we call it a night, Anthony?
Yes. To all of our listeners and viewers, I hope that you all had a wonderful Christmas. And hopefully you all will have a prosperous new year.
Okay. I was actually not expecting that. I was expecting like this game, that game, maybe that game, something like that. But I like that.
No. Yeah, sorry.
No, it's all good. All right, so you want to call it a night, Anthony?
I'm ready to call it a night.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us today. I hope you guys had a good Christmas and definitely looking forward to the new year. Look out for some awesome content. We have Bronson's Game of the Year list up right now and Anthony's Game of the Year list up right now. We don't have anybody else's, right?
Oh, we have others. We have yours, Bremen's, Ray's.
Well, I mean, like, up currently.
No, those are the only two.
Okay,
as of today, Saturday.
Yeah, so definitely look forward. There might be more up as of this being posted. I'm not sure, but either way, look forward to more Game of the Year lists. Follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitch, and that's the shameless advertising, right? All right, guys. Well, hope you had a Merry Christmas. Have a Happy New Year. We will see you guys next week. See ya.
Bye, y'all.